recording. Oh, I guess it is recording. Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening for another very special edition of Diary of a Double. This is the year-long journey of Antonio Argüelles of Mexico City to swim 67 kilometers from England to France, and then from France to England. Welcome, Antonio.
Buenas tardes, buenas noches, buenos días, Steven. A very happy week. We finished the week. That's always good when you're on Saturday, you don't have to swim.
Yeah, and it was a tough week. Oh my gosh. You swam at night. You swam in 14 degrees water.
Yes, I've never swum at 14 degrees Celsius at night. And as many of our friends know, swimming at night, it's a total different ballgame. I mean, not having the sun on your shoulders makes it very complicated. And we started at 6 o'clock. So I swam from 6 until 10 o'clock. And then I rested for 4 hours. And then I got back at 2 o'clock in the morning. And Rafa likes to make things complicated for me. And 2 o'clock is a very complicated time for anybody. I mean, it's the worst time, even if you are at a party. I mean, you're going to be gone between 2 and 3, and then you revive again. And so I was very concerned about the 2 to 4. Luckily it went well. And then we rested for about 3 hours, and then we did the last 2 hours, and the water dropped down until all the way down to 13 and something. It was one of those things that I wasn't expecting, but now I can see why Quinton Nelson and Mark Hamilton say that a double of the North Channel is really complicated. I mean, I don't know if have you swum at 14 at night?
No.
It's painful.
Yeah.
Even with all the mental training and trying to stay warm, it's hard.
Yeah.
Going back to my normal temp. You know what I did? This is a good thing. It's a good thing to remember. I turned the heater in my room, so it was 90 degrees when I came back. So it was like being in a sauna. But going back was hard. It was hard.
Yeah. And I mean, the closest I've been is when I was on the boat from Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco to the Farallon Islands at night, and it was very, very cold, and the swimmer eventually got out, but I couldn't even imagine once the sun went down, then it's a totally different game.
Exactly. And maybe some young or first time swimmers will be watching us. If you're training for any long distance channel swim, train at night. I mean, you're gonna encounter. I mean, thinking that you're gonna be able to swim always during the day, that's not gonna happen. I mean, at some point you have to swim at night, and at 14 degrees it was complicated.
Yeah.
You know what was really nice? I was telling Rafa. Remember when we saw each other in November?
Yeah.
That I couldn't sleep, and I was so bad. I mean, it was really hit me. Then in January, my recovery was complicated, but this time, the recovery has been amazing. And in the PowerPoint that I will share later, I asked Rafa, why is that I'm feeling much better than the other times? And it has to do with the workout. It has to do with the things that we're doing, and it's always and also katsu. I cheated. I have to say that I cheated because between the sessions I put katsu on. Three cycles, but I put katsu on, and I didn't have the feeling that I was tired.
Yeah.
At the end of the 13 degrees, the last hour, I did something crazy at the last hour.
What?
Just imagine you're getting to Cap Grinet, and the current is changing, and you have to sprint, so you get the tide. So I did my best 1 hour at the end.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Do you know how many kilometers you swam?
Yes, I swam 21.5 kilometers in total.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was Rafa wanted me to be around there, so we achieved that. Um, we had currents. Unfortunately, Dan Simonelli is not with us today, but we hit a lot of currents,
Okay.
um, and that you're gonna hit currents anytime. So that was a
Yeah.
good workout.
Yeah. Oh, well, why don't we look at your PowerPoint?
Okay, um, who lets me share? Quinn, you who lets me share? I think you're.
Yeah, I think Quinn has to let you in. Okay. Well, we're waiting for Quinn to let you share the screen. Um, were you nervous in any way swimming at night in 14-degree water?
No, you can't be nervous when you have the beach, you know,
Right.
close to you. I mean, you know, the nice thing about open water swimming, with difference to being in the mountain, is that when you are at Everest or any of the big mountains, you know, and you face problems. You face problem. I mean, it's
Yeah.
gonna be a problem.
Yeah.
You told me one day it's very easy. The boat is only 25 meters away from you, so
Yeah.
you know that's not a problem. You know, another thing that was really nice, and this is something that I mentioned the last time and that I've noticed, is that my mind was very clear.
Okay.
I had no 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 problems with not even negative thoughts, not all the thoughts that
Okay.
we were doing, and that's
Well, you couldn't see anything. You couldn't hear anything. You couldn't taste anything. You couldn't smell anything. It was you and Dan out there in the big ocean.
yes, uh, and some can you see the presentation?
Yes, yes, thank you. So
Okay,
you're training on from the 23rd to the 26th of
26.
February.
So the first thing is we were concerned about our enemies, the jellyfishes.
Uh-huh.
So remember the last time I talked to the
Yeah,
sensei, and he said, "Don't worry, you'll have reinforcements." So when I arrived, the team was there.
got it.
The Dragon, Don Julian, and Marina were there. And I arrived there on Monday. I saw them. And then on Tuesday, I went to the water and see what happens. The jellyfishes tried to attack me, and they were totally overtaken by my team. And then the next day, this is how it looked when I went to the water.
Oh,
Those
wow.
minutes before I went to the water, you see at the end where the palm trees are. That's the cove.
Yeah. Antonia, this is a great shot because I was born and raised in California. So when the sun sets, it sets over the ocean just like this. It's beautiful. It's nice. When I moved to Japan, this is the sunrise. So
Ah,
when this is exactly this, if you look at Tokyo, if anybody goes to the Tokyo Olympics or they try the Tsugaru Channel in the morning, this is how the sun looks on the other side of the Pacific Ocean.
wow, that's great. Well, when we
Yeah.
go there, we'll see that, Stephen.
Yes. Yeah. So okay. So this, what time is this right here?
This is about 5:30.
5:30. Okay.
Yeah, we started at around 6 o'clock, and then here's the sensei.
Okay.
Tell me good luck. And
And
this
Dan
night,
is to your right. Is that Dan?
Dan, yes, Dan.
Okay.
And this is how we look at that night.
Yeah. Oh. So this is La Jolla Cove with the two spotlights on the right side there.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then I was covered. Nobody can. No, you see, nobody can reach me. I was
Yeah.
I was by sea and air covered, and Dan Simonelli was there uh, helping me.
Who took this photo? That last photo, who took that?
That was with the drone.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then
And the ocean wasn't flat. It had a
Oh,
nice texture to it.
yeah. And this is a video. Hi, it is Thursday morning, 7 o'clock in beautiful La Jolla here in California, Southern California, and about to finish my 8 hours. I only have 2 more hours to go. I swam 4 hours starting at 6 o'clock. The water is 40 degrees Celsius. I rested for 4 hours, swam again from 2 to 4. Now on my last leg, which I hope will be the last for today and tomorrow. See you soon. Yours. As you can see, I was a little bit tired. I couldn't get my thoughts right. So Dan just joined us.
Welcome, Dan.
And this is how it looked in the morning when
Okay.
when the moon was going down.
Yeah. Wow.
We almost had full moon. Hopefully next month we'll have full moon.
Okay.
But this
That's
is what
great.
we did, Stephen. We did. Our objective was to we had three things in mind. Number one is to warm up better. Remember the last time I had a lot of trouble getting going. So we want to do that. We want to stabilize our R3, which is my cruising speed, and we wanted to do our mental workout. So those were the main goals. So we started at 6 o'clock, and we usually break the workouts in legs of 30 minutes. So the first 30 minutes, it was warming up, and I do 3 segments of 10 minutes. The first segment is R4, R2 for 10 minutes. Then I do 15 strokes at full blast, and then I recover 30. And then the last 10 minutes is R3. Then an hour of Qigong and R3. They're changing speed. Then we go back to R3 and we do mental work with the dragon. And then this is an interesting one because we do 3 minutes are R4, 2 minutes are R2, and 1 minute are R3. And this takes a lot of your arms. I mean, this is a complicated one. Then we go back to mental training, and then we do 15 seconds by 15 seconds, by 15 strokes. 15 minutes of changes by 15 strokes. And that again is a lot of hard work because it's like speed work. Then we recover at R3, and then we finish again changes of speed, and then the last one is just getting ready out and concentration. And then at the end, we warmed up, then we swam for an hour. This is the hour that I was telling you. I did a full blast, an R3, and then I just do 15 minutes of speed changing and then recovery. So this is what we did during the 8 hours.
Wow. Brutal.
Yeah, it was brutal.
Brutal. And your hotel is, how far is it from the shore to your hotel room?
About 50 spaces.
Oh, okay.
I stayed at the tennis and beach and tennis club at La Jolla.
Okay.
The one that goes back in the shore.
Yeah.
So when I asked Rafa, yeah, so go ahead.
Yeah, and you stuck to this schedule right on.
Yes.
Wow. Excellent.
Yeah,
Excellent.
Dan and Rafa are very, very punctual. So we every time we said we have a time to start, Dan is right on spot. We had a little bit of confusion on some of coming back into the shore. A couple of minutes that Dan didn't realize the current was going to be harder, but that's we won't take that against Dan this time.
Yeah.
We had a lot of fun, and we had some. We had a lot of encounters with the sea lions.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, they always want to play at night. They always come and try. I guess they don't go to sleep, and they they weren't played. And then I asked Rafa why I felt so well. So this is my best workout from the season.
Okay.
I really felt well. So I asked him why. And here you see the numbers. We did 7 hours and 49 minutes.
Okay.
Our cruising speed was 207. The temperature is 13 to 14, and it was 21,140 kilometers, 2.8. We want to be closer to 3, and hopefully by the end of the season we'll be at 3.
Okay. I have just a fundamental question. What you've done here is you got in the water, you came out, you got in the water, came out and got in the water. And your total was 7 hours and 49 minutes. What if you had swum 7 hours and 49 minutes straight? Will you get to that point, or is this getting in and getting out? I know it's very hard, but do you have plans to just keep on swimming, or what is the strategy between getting in and getting out? Why is that important?
Can you unmute Rafa so we can ask him that question?
Sí, hola.
Rafa,
Sí, escuché. Es una estrategia metodológica, fraccionada, donde se intenta estresar los sistemas. En especial...
Parte ahí. Rafa says that it's part of the strategy. The methodology that he's using is to try to stress the different systems. Go ahead, Rafa. Síguele, Rafa.
En especial, venir del descanso. Una es venir del descanso e ingresar al agua nuevamente. Es mucho más estresante que hacerlo continuo en el agua, por el poco descanso y cómo te levantás, ¿no? Y la segunda tiene que ver con que el descanso es parte de la carga de entrenamiento, y tratamos, el nado no es solo de 8 horas, sino de 8 horas más los descansos. O sea, estamos sumando una carga de aproximadamente 12, 14 horas de trabajo.
Number one is that getting in and out is much stressful than just swimming for 7 hours or 8 hours straight. You know, going in and out, it takes a lot. And then the second thing is that, since you know, even if you rest a little bit, you're stressed. I mean, it's not like you go and relax. So basically, it's not the 8 hours that I was 7 hours and 49 minutes that I swam. Is the whole period, which was closer to 16 hours.
Yeah.
That we were intention and working and thinking about the swim.
Yeah, I think Susan and I understand very well. If we had a double practice, a morning workout and an afternoon workout, and you went very hard, the morning practice, and then the coach tells you, we're going to have a really hard workout in the afternoon, you couldn't rest in between. You were all stressed out about the second workout. And I could see how Rafa's strategy really is it's a 16-hour workout, as he said.
Yes. And in May, when we do the long one, it's going to be 24 hours.
Oh, and same strategy, in and out and in and out.
In and out, yes.
Okay.
8 hours in March and April, and then we're going to jump to, which is 16 hours, and then we're going to jump in May to 24. One thing that Rafa was explaining to me is that this was a very stressful workout. I mean, swimming at night at 14 degrees was very stressful. So probably our next swims won't be that stressful in terms of swimming at night, and hopefully the water will be a little bit warmer.
Okay. Can you go back to the photo of the when you were looking at La Jolla Cove? It was very dark. You could only see the yes, there. So, Antonio, for most people swimming in very cold water at night, this would be a really good time to quit. If you had to quit, this photo here tells me all the reason why you should quit. Nice warm buildings, you can be dry, you don't have to be tired anymore. How do you convince yourself not to quit? Or if you're feeling you have some little thought of quitting, how do you change your mindset to keep on going?
Number one, I will have to be with you here telling how to quit. That would be very complicated. I mean, that would be very shameful. I mean, how did I quit?
Yeah.
And the second thing is, you see me smiling at 6 o'clock in the morning or 7 when I go back. I enjoyed it a lot, Stephen. For me, I've been able to move the pain away from my list of concerns.
Oh, okay.
I mean, if you want to do a swim like the one I want to do, there's no free ride. I mean, there's something that you have to do, and you just have to keep on thinking, what's your end goal? And my end goal is I want to have a very easy, the most comfortable back and forth swim in
history. Yeah.
And to
Excellent.
do that, I have to train my ass every single day until I get there.
Yeah.
And that's what keeps in my mind. That's what I remind myself.
Yeah. I like that external stress. So you don't want me to tell you, Antonio, why did you quit? And internal motivation. That's really excellent. It's a really excellent approach.
Thank you. And so when we were thinking, I told Rafa I felt really well, and I said, what was the difference between January and February? So we've been doing a lot more of our training in the pool at rhythm, at R3.
Okay.
Rafa got me away from the changing paces, which I was getting very comfortable. Very specific on how we want to do my cruising. Very important how I warmed up. We've been swimming at the 50-meter pool without heater, so I've been having a lot more swims with cold water. We've done a lot of hard strength training with resistance. I've been working a lot of my mental training, and we'll be working a lot of my rotation and my kick. So we were very prepared. I mean, it's just obvious in the season where we are in the season that I'm getting more refined in my workouts.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Well, this is good. Well, and your flexibility seems to improve.
Yes, it has improved a lot.
Yeah.
Do you want me to show anything else, or shall I?
No, that's fine. That was good. Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, I'm just really interested on the mental part of how you do this, and it's very clear to me that you are so motivated by your own desires and your own fear for people like Quinn, Dan, and me to say, you quit.
Never.
Yeah.
Never quit.
Good.
Good. Can you unmute Dan, because Dan told me, he asked me a question. Remember you said that I might touch the kayak.
There you go. Yes, I was just asking about the getting in the habit, or really because if you do get in a delirious state, you may do something that you've found by habit. Obviously, there's not going to be a kayak in England, but yeah, I just was pondering that, wondering if you had thought about that in terms of that habit of having your tow float and or having the kayaker right there to touch in case you're delirious and not thinking clearly.
What did you say before that? I said, I know you're not going to stop. Remember you said that?
Oh, see. Yes. So even though you're delirious and everything might be going in hallucinogenic territory, I know you're not going to stop. So you could possibly get into that mental zone of just being a little bit delirious, like North Channel.
Then, when was the worst part of the workout? When were you feeling that we were encountering bad weather or tough conditions?
You know, it was interesting. The first 4 hours was tough because of the wind. It was windy that first leg. So, but you were very strong. It was obviously your first leg. But yeah, getting back in, I was just really wanting to be cognizant of you're getting back in the middle of the night, the 2 to 4 leg, and the water was a little colder. So I was concerned when we got back in on the second time, and I was checking the temperature. It had dropped a degree, Fahrenheit degree, and at least actually, I take that back. It went from 14 to 13. Yeah, I was keeping track of it Celsius. So yeah, a degree Celsius. So yeah, I was just concerned. I know how it is to get back in after you've been in for a good amount of time, and I wasn't sure, how that was going to go in that middle leg, but you busted it out just fine.
Dan, I have a question. You're responsible for not only guiding Antonio, but you also for his safety. So what happens out there if something happens? And do you put his body on the kayak and kayak him in? Do you radio? Do you telephone? What are your sort of contingency plans?
All the above. So I think I always carry a marine radio and my cell phone. So I have those two. So I'm prepared to call channel 16 on the radio, Mayday, and calling 911 to activate EMS and lifeguard service specifically in the water. But in terms of, I do also carry a lifeguard rescue tube. So I'll have that flotation device as well as the kayak, of course. And yes, if there's a technique to roll the kayak so I can, if I can't lift him up, or keep him up, then I can roll him onto the top of the kayak and at least, be safe there. And then I carry some first aid equipment and different things that may be needed.
Yeah. And do you wear a wetsuit underneath your jacket, or
I don't wear a wetsuit. I like to wear layers just in case. Okay. So I have actually got some new kayaking pants this time. I tested them out because it was a little chilly. It was definitely, we're having air temperatures that are a little chilly too for us. So, but I was comfortable. I wear layers so I can, strip or add as necessary.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
But and with Antonio, I always like to focus, pay attention to his mental state, and make the comment that he's just so stalwart. I mean, it just really, I think the activity that Rafa with his workouts and keeping mentally active in that regard, it allows him to focus on that. But just on the times that he's, even if he was cold, I wouldn't necessarily know it. He never complains. He just takes care of business, and it really is a case study in how to take care of the mental piece.
Yeah. And then when we talk a lot about Antonio, what he eats and what he eats before and what he eats or drinks during, what do you do? I mean, you're out there just as long as he is.
I try not to drink so I don't have to pee. That's the bottom line. So that might not be the best tactic if I'm out there for, 8, 10, 12 hours. But yeah, I try to minimize that. But I do like to snack on the kayak. So I got my go-tos with sunflower seeds and, on a long swim, I maybe make a sandwich. But yeah, I try to be comfortable. And I have my beef jerky always and things like that, just to snack on. But yeah, sunflower seeds have been my go-to for keeping me occupied for quite a long time.
Got it. Okay. And they're biodegradable too. So if you fall over,
exactly. Yeah, just spin them over the end.
Yeah.
So it keeps me going.
Yeah.
Stephen, Dan is not being that honest about it because he drinks my drink before I do. He always tastes it. If it's warm, if it's warm.
I'm testing it for the king. It for the king.
And no, Suzanne is asking what we ate, and it was the same thing as always. We had warm water with a little bit of pedialite, which is like some, what they give the little the babies when they're dehydrated, and Axel gel every half hour. And then I did something different, Steven. You're gonna like this. Since the hotel was closed for room service and it was not the full kitchen, we couldn't get the soup, so I had to improvise. So there's a place. The next time you or Queen are in or anybody here are in La Jolla, I will take you to my Japanese restaurant. I always have lunch in the same restaurant, and I always eat the same thing. So that's they like that I always have the same thing. And so I asked them to give me miso soup. So I took miso soup and then some rice and some uni. So when I finished the 4 hours, Rafa had my miso soup, my rice, and my uni. Then when I finished the second hour, we ran out of rice, so we just had miso soup. And then when we finished the third hour, I said, no, now I want a muffin. I want a blueberry muffin. But the miso soup worked very well with the rice and the uni.
Yeah.
I had warm carbohydrates and some protein, and it worked so well. I think I might even change it to be the standard. I don't know what the miso soup has, but it tasted really well and helped me a lot.
Yeah, well, it's very salty.
Okay.
And so you could probably taste the smell, taste the taste, even in the salt water. Okay. So, yeah. So
yeah, that's what we did. And then what did we have for breakfast?
No.
Which breakfast?
So
we kind of ate twice.
So we finished. We're gonna go. We haven't had breakfast, and it's not time yet to go for lunch. So I said, "What are we gonna do?" And so we decided a Corona and a Herradura will be fine. So we had that before.
that was the aperitivo.
So no, we had a great time. Everything went very smooth. Everything went well. I was able to go back to the water without any problems. It was probably one of my best workouts that I've had, since I remember. It was
it seems like
there was challenges that we could overcome, and we had a lot of fun.
Yeah. About how many sea lions did you encounter? Was it dozens or one or?
No, there was one that was playing with me for a while, but they come so close. I mean, like you can even touch them, and but Dan knows, Dan, you count.
It was definitely dozens. He didn't see a lot of them, and they were quite active in this one area which we went back and forth over, and they were all around the kayak and swimming around and flipping up and splash. I got splashed right in the face one time, and so I was wondering if Antonio. I mean, he obviously saw them a few times, but they were around us quite a bit in this one area.
Dan, and do you swim there so often? What is the typical behavior of a sea lion around a swimmer? It's
it's really not as nearly as much of a concern as say compared to their experiences in San Francisco. They just seem to be more aggressive up there. Down here, they just really are more playful and not as much of a any of an issue really. So we enjoy them, and especially when the younger ones are flitting around and being very playful. And it's just different at night, of course, because you can't really you just hear them splashing or hear them exhaling. Yeah. And it's kind of obviously different at night.
Do they bark? Do they?
They make noises. I mean, they pretty much only bark at each other, but a lot of the noises, most of their noises, just breathing. They're exhaling out of the water, and sometimes they do that harder, especially if they're playing with them, playing around with themselves and flipping around and chasing each other. So you hear them come up quick and fast. Yeah. I was going to say earlier that I wanted to give kudos to Antonio for he made a comment about we got back late a couple times. So he got a little extra challenge. I wanted to point that out, that one of the ways I like to mess with him, I don't like to come back early. That's the thing. I don't want to come back early and then either attempt going in early or just finishing early. I just feel strongly, but I was a little off on one because it took us a while in some of the wind to get back on the right time. So we were what, about 15 minutes late the first time?
Just 15 minutes of water at 13 degrees Celsius. It's nothing. I mean,
yeah.
15 more degrees. I mean, it's like,
Yeah.
enjoy it.
It's good it's good training though. You don't know what's gonna happen.
Enjoy it. Take it on the nice perspective, the positive side.
Yeah. This is a serious question. What happens if Antonio is right on Cape Grenade, right on the rocks at night? How do you climb up on rocks at night and be safe?
It is an issue. So, you know, where I've seen it, some of the swims, and Chloe's being one of them, you know, they say the observers say it's not a bloody rock climbing contest. So once you get on the rocks, you climb up onto one of the, you know, flatter rocks very carefully, and that's the finish. So there's really no way, because they're big, huge boulders. There's no way to clear the water. Yeah. So, yeah, for Antonio's double, I expect, and this was what I've heard from others at English Channel, if they're on the rocks, is the same thing. You know, obviously not going to utilize their 10 minutes in that situation. It's not comfortable. But yeah, get up on the rock, get the official finish of the first leg, and then slip right back into the water.
Got it. But it still needs to clear the water. So your ankles, your feet need to be above the surface of the water.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain I've seen it several times where there's certain spots where there's a flatter rock. You know, it's not a big boulder, so you're trying to find something where people can climb up on to a flat space and not, you know, try to traverse, or because it's slippery. It's all wet and slippery and everything else. So yeah, trying to find a flat spot.
Okay.
Or flat rock.
Okay.
You know what happened in my first English Channel swim? Remember, it was 18 hours.
Yeah.
We came to rocks. So I was on my 4. I couldn't get up. You know, the picture, you know, I want to be like Rocky, you know, finishing. And I was just sitting on my 4. I couldn't get up. And it was so many rocks that I couldn't find a place where I could stand up. So I didn't stand up. I cleared the water, but I didn't stand up.
Yeah. Okay. Well, hopefully you'll do a flip turn, jump out like Neptune, and you'll dive back in, and
I'll fly with my dragon.
Yes.
From the water, you know, people can't see my dragon. That's a good thing. It's only me and I. So he and I. So I just, you know, get him to fly me, and we'll be on the rock.
And what's in store for next week?
Rafa hasn't told me what we're doing. No, Rafa is
going. Okay. Well, let's keep it a surprise then.
Yeah, hopefully it's going to be recovering. I have a side business next week. My audiobook in Spanish is almost finished. And we're starting the audiobook in English. And the book should be coming out anytime in English. And so that has me very excited. Rafa.
Sí. Va a ser la semana siguiente, va a ser de recuperación, y ya empezamos la preparación para el nado de mayo. Es la tercera etapa de las 4 que vamos a hacer hacia el canal inglés.
Okay, we're gonna recover next week, and then we're starting to think about the swim in May. Which the next week is recovery and finishing the second stage.
Okay.
And we're gonna start the third stage the week after, and that is moving towards the May swim.
Okay. All right. Well, another week down and 1 week closer to a 2-way crossing of the English Channel. That sounds good.
Thanks, Stan.
Thank you all.
Bye. Thanks.
Bye.
Ciao. Bye, you guys. Good to see you.
Bye.
Bye.
That was it. It's over.